I created a chart to describe each of the upper extremity PNF patterns, their effects on the trunk, and their functional uses. To perform a chop, you'll begin with the lead arm in the beginning position for D1 extension. That's the kiss the biceps position that we learned in lab, as you can see in the pictures. And the assisting arm will begin with the arm overhead and the hand in a lumbrical grip around the lead wrist. Chopping facilitates trunk flexion with rotation and is helpful for facilitating rolling. To perform a lift, you will begin with the lead arm in the beginning position for D2 flexion, which is like grabbing the sword from its sheath, and again, the assisting arm will be wrapped around the lead wrist with a lumbrical grip. Lifting facilitates trunk extension with rotation and is useful in facilitating side lying to supine. The bilateral symmetrical D1 flexion pattern does not have a lead like the asymmetrical patterns that we previously discussed, because both arms will be performing the same motion. The patient will perform D1 flexion with both arms simultaneously, which utilizes irradiation from the stronger upper extremity to facilitate the weaker upper extremity musculature, and this places a greater demand on the trunk muscles. This facilitates flexion of the trunk and posterior pelvic tilt, and is useful for mass flexion rolling. Finally, the bilateral symmetrical D2 flexion pattern uses a simultaneous D2 flexion pattern of both arms, as you can see in the pictures. This pattern also uses irradiation, and it promotes spinal extension and anterior pelvic tilt. This is useful for having the patient reach to lift a large item off a high shelf.